Our coverage of the U.S. North Korean summit here in Vietnam marks a return for CBS News. The most important events of the Vietnam War, events that changed our country and this one forever, captured in real time by CBS News crews.
Landing craft brought most of the Marines through the choppy waves of the South China Sea.
On March 8, 1965, cameras were rolling as U.S. Marines landed in Da Nang.
They are the first actual ground combat troops to enter the country.
Just 4 months later, Walter Cronkite's crew prepared to fly.
The area we're going to bomb is only about 70 miles from Da Nang Air Base.
For the first time in American history, news from the front lines was sent straight into living rooms across the country.
And we were walking into this village when you can hear what happened.
The realities of war, minus the fog.
The Marines have burned this old couple's cottage because fire was coming from here.
In August, as the war was escalating,
Come this way.
Morley Safer documented Marines destroying homes in Cam Nay.
150 homes were leveled in retaliation for a burst of gunfire.
Safer's report painted a new kind of picture, an ugly, uncensored one.
There were 16 wounded men on the ground.
The reels kept coming.
The medevacs
from the jungles of Wei Chau to the streets of Saigon, America's first TV war dragged on.
We have just been fiercely attacked by some of our own troops.
Stop it, goddammit! Stop firing! Over!
More than 58,000 Americans were killed over 2 decades of the Vietnam War, including those who covered it. 9 CBS News employees died.
There are 6 men in this small trench, and 2 of them are wounded, one a CBS sound technician.
33 other staffers were wounded, including the late Ed Bradley, hit by gun shrapnel. In 1968, Cronkite addressed a war-weary audience.
To say that we are mired in stalemate seems the only realistic, if unsatisfactory, conclusion.
Stalemate or not, it would take 7 more years until Americans saw this.
Reports from Saigon said thousands of people were roaming Da Nang airfield.
Bruce Dunning's 1975 report on the last plane out of Da Nang as the city fell to North Vietnamese troops.
A stampede of terrorized people tried to storm the plane.
It was an unforgettable moment in news history.
The pilots reported by radio that the situation was out of control. Men clambered over one another. Members of the air crew dragged them onto the plane, trying to fill it as fast as possible.
As deserters shoved and shot their way into a plane meant for women and children,
they left their wives, their children, their aged parents on the runway.
A Boeing turned into a battlefield.
The plane began to move as people still clambered up the ladder. Another World Airways plane flew alongside and reported that the cargo hatches were open and full of people.
Viewers back home came to terms on TV with the end.
The flight crew put the plane, almost empty of fuel, down very gingerly on the runway at Saigon. Soldiers poured out of the luggage hold. The men and women of World Airways had brought their plane and its load home.